Thanks for doing sweet and sour chicken, baby. Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Todd here, and welcome to Hiking a Different Path. Now, if you're thinking about planning for or interested in doing a through hike like the Appalachian Trail, well, then you're in the right spot. Be sure to do this, and don't forget to click on this thing, so when all this stuff is starting to happen, you'll know that I put out another video. Now, see how easy that is? Did you do it? That's okay. You can wait until the end if you want. Not a big deal. All right? So I'll go ahead and apologize for the corny opener this week, but if you're thinking about a long distance hike of any kind or any length, food will be an all-consuming concern. Did you see what I did there? Yeah, all-consuming, whatever. Point is, you will think a lot about food, not just when you can eat and how much, but what you get to eat. Think variety and quality, but where you're going to get that food, how you're going to carry that food, how you're going to prepare that food, all of that is going to be some stuff that you're going to be thinking about somewhere in there too. Now, I am always amazed and amused by the interrogation process of people asking me about long distance hiking. So you're going how far? And that's going to take you how long? And what are you going to eat? And how are you going to carry all that food that far? Are you going to have an alpaca? Maybe a llama? Truly, this is a difficult endeavor for people to conceptualize. It's crazy. I've made the decision to resupply a lot of my meals for the hike via mail drops in towns. Now, at least half of my meal supply, maybe even more as time goes on, is going to be done this way. This won't be every hiker's choice. Some are going to choose to resupply completely in towns along the way, and this brings me to the point of what it is that I'm talking about today. Some may choose the prepackaged route, like Mountain House Meals, Gourmet, and others. Now, I can tell you that these are all great companies. It's all really good food. I'm just making other choices. This ain't that video. At the end of the day, I like options, and I already supplement my hiking meals with home dehydrated meals for a number of reasons. First off, it's the type of food. I want to make sure that I'm eating well on the trail. When you resupply in towns, you're locked into what you can find in that town. Now, this may be a good selection, but more often than not, you're going to have to take what you can get. This means a lot of pasta sides, candy, ramen, and other things like that. Now, while those things are filling and tasty, they may not keep the hiker engine running at its best. Personally, I worry about getting enough protein while hiking. Carbs and simple energy like sugars are going to be really easy to get, but protein can be harder to find or missing entirely. It's a given that my body and weight are going to change because I'm hiking 2,000 plus miles every 5 to 6 months. What I don't want to happen is for my body to start eating itself, meaning my muscle mass, in order to keep running. The second is the variety. Eating the same things week in and week out for months can get really boring, and I don't want to get burned out on food items in general or in particular. I know some hikers that if you just mention the name Cliff Bar, they want to hurl. They're sick of them. Too much of a good thing is not such a good thing. Thirdly, I have certain dietary restrictions. There are some foods that I simply can't eat. While I may love them, they can and will quite literally rip me in half. I know, too much information, but I have to be careful about my gut, and so there you go. Lastly is the weight. I eat big, and I like a lot of food, especially for that evening meal. Doing larger meals in a dehydrated format allows for portion control and means I'm carrying less weight compared to other formats. Food is going to be a significant percentage of the weight carried in my pack. May as well be as smart about it as I can, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. Just cook the meal, throw it in a dehydrator, roll with it, dude. Well, that's certainly one approach. I'm not trying to overcomplicate this thing, but I am wanting to eat many of the things that I enjoy eating on a regular basis, just reformatted for the trail. Things like chicken marsala, Salisbury steak, pollo tapatio, see, chicken salad, and a long list of others. So what I'll be doing is kind of deconstructing these types of foods and a lot more and setting these up for trail use. So take the meal that my wife just made for us as a family, chicken marsala. Now, make no mistake, this is a quick meal to make at home. The way this is done, it's a bag sauce. Brown the chicken, cook the rice, add the sauce to the chicken, and boom, Bob's your uncle, you got chicken marsala. Is it gourmet? Nah, but still, it is very good and filling. So how do you translate this to a trail meal? Well, one concern is the chicken, or more specifically, the size of the chicken. Cubed is great at home, but if you're trying to dehydrate that, it's not going to rehydrate as well as you might hope. It may come out a little rubbery at that. So you can adjust that a couple of ways. You can use canned chicken and dehydrate that. There you go. Another option is to use prepackaged cooked chicken in the pouch. So that takes care of the protein. What about the rest? Well, I've fallen in love with this basmati style rice. Now, this is an Indian rice. It is really light and fluffy and tastes amazing. It'll rehydrate really well also. I'll use about a cup of cooked rice before dehydration for a recipe like this. Now, don't want to use a dehydrator? Fine. Minute style or that type of rice is a great option. Use plain, wild rice, whatever works for you. It works great just adding hot water on the trail and you've got well-made rice. As to the sauce, well, that you do dehydrate. I'll use about 1/3 to 1/2 of the sauce dehydrated for a meal like this. And lastly, there's the things that I'm going to want to add to the meal. Things like mushrooms, peas, and carrots, both to add flavor and boost the caloric content. Once this is packaged, I've got a great little meal that'll fill me up, give me the energy that I need for the hike and recovery, and be something a little more sophisticated to eat besides just plain pasta sides, ramen, and Spam. Now, all of those things are great items to eat, but I think we can make something even better out of those ingredients. Well, that'll make our hiking partners just a little bit jealous at mealtime. So in the coming weeks, there are going to be a lot more recipe ideas, and now's your chance. What are some of the meals that you like at home that aren't generally thought of as being usable for the trail? I bet that we can make something happen on that. And until next week, take a hike and love somebody along the way.